Hey, friends. Welcome to another edition of 4 Minutes on Friday. I wanted today to share a couple of thoughts that I've had recently. At our church, we've been doing a sermon series, teaching series on the resurrection. And this is something that is on the liturgical calendar as 7 weeks of Easter. And so we decided to take those 7 weeks and really talk a lot about what the resurrection means beyond just the application or the implication of eternal life with God. So I just thought I would hit you with three things that I've kind of had as I guess revelations for me in studying and preparing and even teaching some of this series. So first of all, the resurrection invites us in. The resurrection of Jesus invites us to come close to Him. Now, this is something that God has been seeking and desiring from the very beginning of humanity. He walks with Adam and Eve in the garden, and because of their sin, it causes this rift, this separation. And this is a separation that Adam and Eve initiate. Now, we could probably talk a lot about that, but they are the ones who are hiding from God in the garden initially. So there's that part of it, this separation that sin creates between us and God. The resurrection invites us to come close. That is symbolized through the tearing of the veil that separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple. And that symbolism is incredibly important. It reminds us that when Jesus shows up on the scene in the first century, that he goes about kind of restoring or wanting to restore the relationship between us and God. That God has always wanted an intimate, close relationship. So the resurrection of Jesus invites us in. The second thing that it does, at least the second thing that it does, is that the resurrection reminds us that this is a daily thing. I think a lot of times in evangelical church circles, we talk about the resurrection really only in two historical places. One, a past history event, and one, a future historical event. The past is, of course, the actual resurrection of Jesus. We point to that and we say, yes, Jesus is the one who defeated the grave. And all of that is true, and I absolutely celebrate that. The other place that the evangelical church largely only talks about the resurrection is at the end of life. What happens after you're dead, that Jesus is going to take us all to heaven, wherever that may be. We could probably have several conversations on what heaven is like and where it is and all that kind of stuff. I think the evangelical church has largely missed the boat on what resurrection means on a daily basis. So this is the second thing that I have kind of realized, is that the resurrection has daily implications for us. And very, very specifically, just one place that it is a daily thing. It shows up, the evidence of the resurrection in our daily lives shows up in how we talk to and about other people. We live in a culture right now that is just waylaid with the poor treatment of other people who disagree with us, who don't look like us, vote us like us, etc. The list is seemingly endless. So as one who celebrates the resurrection, I need to be aware of, you need to be aware of the very real fact that the resurrection of Jesus, the evidence of that shows up in how I talk to and about other people on a daily basis. So the resurrection invites us in, it is daily, and then thirdly, it's not just about you. Again, I think this is where the evangelical church in America has really had a big swing and miss. We have often talked about salvation as a personal, individual experience that is about you, your salvation, your eternity. And I think all of that is true. But the place that I think the evangelical American church has missed it is we have talked about it only in those terms. The resurrection of Jesus isn't just about you and your salvation and your eternity, although those are parts of it. Jesus continually shows us how to live in such a way that our lives need to be poured into the lives of others. If you walk away from Christianity thinking or believing that it's just about you, and that's why it's a selfish religious system, then I would probably agree with you. If that is the only thing that you see within Christianity, is that it's individualistic, it's only about you, I would probably agree with you. Christianity looks very selfish, very self-serving. But you can't read the life of Jesus and walk away from the teachings that he shows us, the way that he lives, and think that it's just about you and your salvation and your eternity. It is about so much more than that. So those are just some of the realizations that I've had about the resurrection, what it means for us. So those three things, the resurrection invites us in. The resurrection is daily in our lives. And the resurrection isn't just about us as individuals. It is much more of a community type of experience. All right, we are over time once again. So I hope that these 6 minutes have been good for you. Be sure to share this kind of stuff. You never know who you're going to impact and who might need it most. We'll see you next Friday.